Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Giant Inflatable Pink Gorilla Maker.
Mr. Giant Inflatable Pink Gorilla Maker.
The automotive industry's most convincing marketing tool. The giant gas-filled pink gorilla.
Such a big monkey.
Factory rebates, 0% financing. Poppycock. Nothing sells cars like a helium-happy primate.
You said it, brother.
Why a gorilla? Because who'd buy a car from a dealer with a giant inflatable hamster?
Not gonna buy it.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, O king of the automotive jungle. When we say you're the greatest, we're not just blowing hot air.
Mr. Giant Inflatable Pink Gorilla Maker.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, Fort Collins, Colorado. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Handlebar Mustache wearer.
Mr. Handlebar Mustache wearer.
It takes a real fashion pioneer to know some things never go out of style. Like facial hair from the 18th century.
Styling and profiling.
With a little wax and a twist of your fingers, you're an instant man about town. You may not be a Civil War general, but with a handlebar mustache, even a simple computer programmer can rally the troops.
Tally-ho!
Heaven knows we wouldn't be caught dead with one, but it looks good on you. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh soup-straining friend, and know that if you keep wearing it, we'll keep staring at it.
Mr. Handlebar Mustache wearer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, Fort Collins, Colorado. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Hollywood Plastic Surgeon.
Mr. Hollywood Plastic Surgeon.
Great actors are born, not made. And when they're born with a big fat honking schnoz, you are there.
Doctor, can you help me?
It's a tough town that demands talent, and talent can't be bought. But a huge set of distracting knockers can.
Big giant knockers.
A snip here, a nip, a tuck, another snip. It takes less time to cut a major motion picture than it does a major movie star.
Oh, that's Hollywood.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Fake Movie Star Maker. You take the suck out of liposuction.
Mr. Hollywood Plastic Surgeon.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Horsedrawn Carriage Driver.
Mr. Horsedrawn Carriage Driver.
You start your day with a tip-tip and a cheerio, which is odd because you're from Brooklyn.
Jolly old Brooklyn.
While most people sit behind a desk, you proudly sit 2 feet behind a 4-legged manure factory. No one knows the guts it takes to ride the subway to work dressed as a foppish dandy from the 18th century. Blaring horns, profanity, vicious insults, all met with a courtly tip of your stovepipe hat.
Cheerio.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, buggy boy, because the way you say giddy up makes us say, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Male Fur Coat Wearer.
Mr. Male Fur Coat Wearer.
Perhaps fashion's greatest mystery. What makes a big, strong man say, I think I need a new fur coat?
I don't know.
The very height of political incorrectness. Nothing says, I could give a rat's rear end like a man in a floor-length chinchilla.
Taking no prisoners.
A look that's half street pimp, half Ad Esther, and full-on fur-tastic. Sure sure it's gauche, but you don't spend more on your coat than your car, not to be noticed.
Look at me.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Male Fur Coat Wearer, because it takes a real man to wear a lady's coat.
Mr. Male Fur Coat Wearer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Next Day Carpet Installer,
Mr. Next Day Carpet Installer.
because when we're jonesing for carpet, we're jonesing for it right now.
Totally jonesing.
Thanks to you, we have absolutely no problem buying carpet over the phone, sight unseen.
Just pick up the phone.
A near miracle. An entire basement of wall-to-wall shag in less time than it takes to order a pizza.
I like pepperoni.
Your motto, if you're a payin', I'm a layin'.
Oh, yeah.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, king of the carpet men. You not only go the distance for us, you do it wearing knee pads.
Mr. Next Day Carpet Installer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Nudist Colony Activity Coordinator,
Mr. Nudist Colony Activity Coordinator.
wearing nothing but a whistle and a clipboard. You're living the real American dream. Getting paid to think up fun things to do naked.
Running free.
Sure, there's danger. Vinyl chairs, sunburns, chafage, and lawn darts completely out of the question.
Watch out now.
Your keen instincts tell you to stick to activities that involve lots of bouncing and jiggling. And if that doesn't work, who cares? You're all naked.
It's your birthday.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, nudie boy, because we all know when the going gets tough, the tough get naked.
The Nudist Colony Activity Coordinator.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Parade Float Driver.
Mr. Parade Float Driver.
Real men don't drive shiny sports cars. Real men drive old school bus chassis covered in papier-mâché, pansies, and puppets.
Slow and easy.
Why? Chicks dig floats. Just ask the Carson County Port Queen waving from the back end.
Lovely poor queen.
You drive with sweaty palms. One wrong move from you, and Paul Tilley's old-timey barbershop quartet is history.
Oh!
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh thoroughbred of the thoroughfare. When it comes to parades, you really float our boat.
Mr. Parade Float Driver.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Professional Figure Skater.
Mr. Professional Figure Skater.
While lesser men strapped on skates and played hockey, you don skin-tight leotards and a teeny cowboy hat and learn figure eights.
Going round and round.
You practiced and practiced, hoping, knowing, someday you'd be good enough to wear a giant puppet costume and skate in an ice show.
Welcome to the big time.
Skate perfectly and you're a crowd pleaser. Mess up and fall on your butt, and you're still a crowd pleaser.
Oh!
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh titan of the tights. You may never wear a medal, but sequins are shiny too.
Mr. Professional Figure Skater.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.